Wonder Project: Learning How to Hack a Furby by Hannah Gregory. Furbies. The popular electronic Gigapet released in 1998 by Tiger Electronics that sold over 40 million units in the 3 years they were produced. I possess quite the extensive collection of these simple circuited toys, so I figured I should do some experimenting on them. Hello, my name is Hannah, and for my Wonder Project, I wanted to learn how to hack a Furby. In order to do this, I asked myself 3 questions. 1. How do Furbies work? 2. Is hacking a Furby even possible, and if so, how would I do it? And 3. How will I execute the hacking of the Furby? I did some research and will be answering those questions now. Starting with the first question, how do Furbies work? By definition, hacking is to exploit electronic items and software. So, in order to exploit Furbies to do something other than their purpose, it's important to understand how they work. Furbies are controlled by a single reverse motor that is powered by 4 AA batteries. This motor controls the eyes, ears, and mouth on a single shaft so that one full rotation of the shaft will trigger all of the Furby's movements. All of the Furby's moves are predetermined and they cannot move separate parts independently. The predetermined moves and voices are stored on 3 PCBs, printed circuit boards, with 2 smaller ones and 1 larger one, all covered in blobs of epoxy. The commands are then carried out in order to the shaft, speaker, motor, mic, and infrared receptor and transmitter. An infrared receptor is a sensor that receives infrared beams, a type of electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths too long for the human eye to see and therefore invisible. If a beam of infrared is cast into the sensor of the Furby, it will commence a string of actions to make it seem like it's communicating with the releaser of these infrared waves, which is how Furbies can communicate with each other. Is hacking a Furby even possible? And if so, what parts would I hack? Hacking a Furby is possible, but because of how old and cheaply made the toys are, it's not something I can plug into my monitor, open Python, and rewrite the script to. At least, not without adding several new parts, which could cost upwards of $100. So, to answer my own question, no. I cannot properly hack my Furby without entirely replacing the insides, but there are a few ways that I can soft hack or circuit bend the Furby, that is to say, modify their software slightly. The first way you can do this is by connecting some of the pathways in the primary printed circuit board in front of the voice samples. Using a conductive metal, such as tinfoil, it will cause the voice of the Furby to become garbled, and applying some more connections across the circuit board will cause the Furby's pitch of voice to drop and the speed will slow down. If you cover the entire circuit board with tinfoil, the board will get extremely hot and fry the Furby's circuit board entirely, which will make your Furby non-functional. You can also do the same thing with a very small drop of water, and because water is an excellent conductor of electricity, you will receive the same results. Another way you could alter the Furby is by putting it near something that emits infrared beams, such as a TV remote, a toaster, a microwave, a wireless computer mouse, or something more powerful like a hairdryer. That will overwork the infrared sensor and cause the Furby to glitch if pointed at it. If a TV remote is pointed at the sensor of a Furby, a device with a more direct infrared beam, it will trigger a series of actions that a Furby would only use if it thought it was communicating with another Furby. This works because the receptor of the Furby is so broad that anything that emits a strong enough infrared signal will cause it to start talking. How am I going to execute the hacking of the Furby? Now that I have the knowledge of how I can hack, or better, modify my Furby, I can start the process of actually modifying it. For this, I will take a standard TV remote to use as a switch to start the action chain in the Furby. I will then remove the original speaker from the Furby and replace it with a separate series circuit. This circuit is a combination of 3 components: a battery pack to provide power to the circuit, a switch which will be closed by the moving of the shaft inside the Furby, and the speaker, which can temporarily hold any audio file shorter than 30 seconds. Once the circuit is connected to where the original speaker was, I can screw the shell of the Furby back on, and once I point a TV remote at the sensor, the Furby will move, make some garbled noises, then start to play the audio of my choice, which in this case I chose the song Thunderstruck by AC/DC. This is the final result of my Wonder Project hacked Furby. I hope you enjoyed my presentation and thank you for listening.